blowing wind. الريح الشديدة حرارة. Intense wind that is hot, that burns. وحميم. And hamim is actually, boiling hot water. And by the way, sam in Arabic means poison. So the wind that makes you sick, like you're about to die. Poisonous wind. Toxic wind that burns. And on top of that, the drink that burns. وَظِلٍّ مِّن يَحْمُومٍ. And shade. Now when you think shade in the desert, you're thinking cold. You're thinking relief. But he says yahmum. It's made of ad-dukhan al-aswad. It's actually black smog, black smoke that comes out of fire. That's the only kind of shade you'll find. Now in Arab society, this is important to understand before we get to the next ayah. In Arab society, obviously, shade is important because they live in a desert culture. So shade is a sign of coolness, relief. But also when people are traveling, most people can't afford an entourage that carries something over their head, or their camel doesn't have the extra, convertible thing on top, so they travel in the shade. They can't afford that kind of high roller ride, so they're under the sun. So when somebody is in the shade out there, in the Arab society, that's a high roller. That's not just your average Joe riding on a camel. That's actually a pretty big deal, that guy. Because he's in what? In shade. Wherever he goes, he keeps shaded, and that's a sign of his elite status. Okay. Allah says, this shade, however, la baridin, it will not provide cold. It's not going to have cold in it. So the first thing important to the Arabs about shade was cold. What was the second thing? It was a sign of nobility. Wala kareem, nor is it gracious. Nor does it provide any honor, any nobility. إِنَّهُمْ كَانُوا قَبْلَ ذَلِكَ مُتْرَفِينَ. No, these people, no doubt, way before this happened, they used to be. Way before that happened, meaning that punishment happened, they were mutrafin. Mutraf, it comes from the word itraf. Itraf means to overspend and to be to not care where you spend, to be completely oblivious to how much you consume, and to show off with your wealth, and to actually cause corruption as a result of your wealth. This is itraf. Mutraf is someone with so much luxury and they're oblivious. They just spend it completely wastefully. You know how you find in some societies there's an economic disparity? So you have people that are obscenely rich, and then there are people that are offensively poor. And the people that are obscenely rich are buying 40 cars, and they're buying private jets, and they're buying watches made of gold and all kinds of weird things, golden toilets or whatever, stupid things. And the people right outside their castles they're dying of hunger. And that's a reality in much of the world. And sad to say, much of the Muslim world. These are the mutrafin. Allah says these were the elites back in the day. وَكَانُوا يُصِرُّونَ عَلَى الْحِنْثِ الْعَظِيمِ. And they used to insist upon the great sin. Hinth is an abominable sin. What is that abominable sin? It's shirk. But you know what? We always think of shirk as something that is a relationship between us and Allah. Shirk has corollaries. Tawheed, our relationship with Allah, when we accept Allah as one, it has corollaries. If Allah is one and we accept Him as our master, then we are slaves. And as slaves, everybody around us is also a slave. One of the necessary consequences of Tawheed is you become concerned with other creation. If I'm Allah's creation, they're Allah's creation too. My dealings with them are going to be questioned directly as a result of my Tawheed. These people, their shirk led them to be completely oblivious to the needs of others. وَكَانُوا يَقُولُونَ